van. There is dust everywhere in this place. You know, I am starting to wonder what it'll taste like to have a coffee that doesn't contain any sort of dust in it after this is done. Morning everyone. Today is the day when we're actually going to fit the Truma, which Mitch has been dying to do for quite some time now. We're excited to see something, one, go in and actually see it be done, and two, get rid of the massive box that the Truma does come in.
It's doing murder already.
Are you getting there or?
Well, sort of, but it's just like, everything's so fiddly and tight. Well, it's not actually that fiddly, I'm just useless, but...
I would like for anyone to let us know that if you have converted a van yourself or done something similar, do you get to a point in the build where like you start to lose your head? Because I think Mitch has got to that point. You've been making a lot of little mini mistakes, haven't you, recently? And they're nothing major, they're literally just like putting things down, forgetting where they are, doing little things, not thinking about how it's going to actually fit, or I don't know. Maybe we've just been doing this for far too long now. I also feel like today is a great example of sharing why we haven't been filming this build as much as we probably would have liked to have. Mitch today, he's making little mistakes, he's trying to get it done, he's getting a bit stressed, and to be honest, we end up working in a lot of silence because one, the radio repeats itself far too much, and two, because it's just, yeah, it just gets a bit stressful and we're not that fun to be around. So that's why we try to not film in them circumstances, because it's very boring, and two, it's not like the greatest content to watch. So yeah, I hope that explains it a little bit more. Like, that's as much as you're going to get out of Mitch. I'm hoping he becomes himself again once this build's over. I know he will. We're on that final bit now where we can start to see the light, but there's still so much to do and so much little bits to do that can all get really overwhelming very quickly. Like this van, for example. This is one of them tasks that's been really overwhelming me, and the only way I can stop it overwhelming me is by starting it. So I may as well make myself useful and start to clear it out, because I'll feel better for it, and I'll also know that the sooner we sell it, when the van is done, the sooner we can get on the road. I honestly can't believe that basically all of this here is what we own. That did not take me long at all. Probably took me an hour, and that whole van is empty. I honestly can't believe that we're at this stage now where that van is empty now. It was bringing me back to when we first packed up the van and first set off on our travels, and was finding a few little trinkets and stuff of even our little ticket from when we went over on the ferry. And yeah, I can't believe we've kind of come full circle, and we're back here, back with a empty van, and then one that will go off hopefully to a lovely new owner and have many more adventures. Anyway, enough of that. I think I need to grab Mitch now and put all this into the loft and then get on with some other chores that I've got in the van, like painting. What's new? Following this day were quite a few jobs which required getting our heads down and pushing through. We didn't really pick up the camera much, as to be honest we were just having another session of struggling to keep high spirits for the camera, when in reality we just wanted to get the work done. It was a long week of cutting and painting new pieces of furniture in the van and getting the bulk of our electrics fit into place in anticipation for our battery to arrive, which you'll see a lot more of in this video. But now it was time to start a task that has been daunting Mitch since starting this project. So today we're back, and I think this is probably one of the most anticipated parts of the build that I'm really looking forward to. We're going to get started working on the kitchen. So this week it's all about building the kitchen, and some of us are more excited than others. We're already having...
You've not got to build it.
We're already having our first headache, and we've only been here 20 minutes.
Basically the problem that we're having is we decided on the depth of the kitchen to be 450mm, and the appliances that we've got, it's like so tight to be able to fit them in at 450mm, which is quite short for a kitchen worktop. So we're just trying to contemplate whether it's worth going up to 500mm or not, because we're trying to decide if it's tight and not doable, or it's tight and efficient to have a smaller worktop, because we don't need all that space. We already have an L-shaped kitchen, it's loads of worktop, so we can sacrifice the depth a bit.
So no pressure.
It's the first day again today where I've had like a sick feeling in my stomach because I'm nervous about stuff going wrong, and I've not had that for a long time.
Since the windows?
No. I was stressing about... What was the last thing I really stressed about? Scribing. I didn't know whether I'd be able to scribe stuff properly to the walls, but that's gone okay. So...
You'll get there.
No, I need to concentrate for a minute.
Alright.
Thought it'd be easy if we just show you our scribbles to try and explain like what we're trying to do with the kitchen. God, we work so rough, don't we, really, when you look at it.
Looks like a child's done it.
Everyone does like 3D diagrams, we literally just pencil draw crap out. So, if you can even understand this at all, we're going for 90cm high cabinets. That's taking into account the worktop as well. And then we're going to have sink, hob, just floating workspace. And then this is going to be cupboard, which you can probably try and work out here, drawers, and then a big pantry drawer that'll pull out. It's hard to sort of visualise it, but basically this is going to run across the bulkhead, and then on the window side, on the driver's side, this is going to run across and underneath the window. So this is the pantry cupboard that I was just on about. So because it's 45cm deep, it'll be able to pull into our floating desk that we're planning on having underneath the window, and then another electrical cupboard attached to the partition wall. So it's saying I've never really done anything like this before, to me it's quite complex for doing it for the first time, which is why I'm stressing. I think like the construction of it looks quite straightforward. It's like quite basic because we're literally just making out of ply and pocket holes, but it's more the plan and the prep that you've got to get right to start off with.
Yeah, we really.
And you can tell that we've really spent a lot of time working this out. Bloody hell. We're leaving this so tight.
So we've got the first glimpse of what a kitchen might look like in here.
It's quite the right height, isn't it?
Yeah, I like the height. Mitch is just currently getting some extra measurements before you've got to finish it. Is that right?
Well, I didn't want to make the battens for this end piece because when we did the calculations for the dropouts, we didn't take into account the thickness of the wood. So all I've done is I've left it till the end to make this one, because this one's not defined by anything, whereas these two are defined by the sink and the hob. So basically I'm just making this one as wide as we can make it. We've just got to try and sit this square up against here to get the right measurement for the board, which is quite hard for the batten.
Literally just turned the camera off and Mitch has had a aha moment, and some swear words have already been said because he's messed up.
Do you want to explain what you've done?
Basically, I was just saying that this one isn't defined by anything for the width of it, but it is. It's defined by how wide we wanted the worktop to be. So that, because we want the worktop to be the same depth this way and this way, but now the worktop is overlapping too far over here, which would interfere with the cutout for the stove. So now we've got like not a lot of choices. Like I either take this completely apart again and I'll have to remake all these battens to pull it in, so that's 450, but then I don't know if you've got the room
space, yeah,
to put the stuff in, or that first piece of worktop comes up to this edge and then it's got to get shorter. It's going to have to be smaller depth from there to here, and then that also means that this cabinet's got to be smaller, like shorter in. I just don't know if that would look a bit silly.
We eventually came to the decision that making the worktop slightly shorter here wouldn't look too bad. The main thing that Mitch found difficult with the kitchen was that he was constantly doubting that what he was doing was correct, which is why he constantly looked stressed on the camera. For the next couple of days, we carried on prepping and painting all of the cupboard doors for the overhead cupboards and finishing off the parts for the bench sheets. Mitch wired up all of the electrics, which was a task he'd been itching to do but had been held up by some parts arriving. He then rushed to get this all put together just in time for the heart of our camper van to turn up.
We've got a broken man today. Mitch has woken up with a crooked neck.
Crooked neck? Not crooked, it's just... Is crick the right word?
Crick.
I can't look up. Been worked too hard, been worked to the bone.
This van build's killing us. But it's a new day and he's powering through, although...
We've got too much stuff to do, I can't stop.
Yeah, so the other day when we had the day off to edit, our battery finally came. So we did a little bit of installing of that when we were meant to be working on the laptops because we got far too excited about installing everything, didn't we?
Yeah, because also I just wanted to make sure that like the cables, there was nothing wrong with them and everything actually worked. Because the amount of screws we put in stuff, I've been so paranoid about putting one through a cable. All we've got in at the minute is, oh well, I'll show you actually, it's probably easier. But yeah, as you can see, the electrical setup's like 90% of the way there. All I'm waiting on is some fuses for the DC-DC charger, the hookup charger, and then I've put a 60 amp in for the DC stuff at the minute, which is fine, but I'm going to put that down to a 40. But yeah, everything's pretty much there. The battery, obviously, you can see is there now, which came yesterday. It's dead exciting. So now things are actually powered up, as you can see. The 240 is completely disconnected because the inverter still needs to go on top of here. But we want to paint this before we put the inverter in. But yeah, look. We got lights. How cool is that?
That's so
We had
good.
a massive panic when I was putting these up the other day because I was like halfway through installing them. And I was like, Marv, there's no switch on them. And I was stressing thinking because I hadn't thought about putting a switch anywhere for them. And I was just hoping that they were going to be touch activated, which found out we are when we connected them yesterday, which is unbelievable. And then we've got lights, which are not very light, but we tested them in the dark last night and they're just about right. But yeah, it's coming together. It's going to blow my hair off. Marv, you've not got the mic on.
Where's the mic?
Well, now some numpty's put the microphone back on. You can probably tell that the audio's got a million times better.
Yes,
But yeah, we've got a working fan. It's noisy while it's opening the hood up. It's proper luxury this, isn't it?
Yeah, that's something that I could have dreamed about last summer.
So this is going to be perfect for the shower being here, so we can have it on suck out and take all of the hot fumes for our hot long showers.
Oh yeah.
And then also the food smell from the kitchen here, which is just ideal. And then actual class.
It really is starting to come together, and I think just having the electricity now is just making it all seem very real. And I'd say more motivating, but it's a Sunday right now, and because Mitch has got this bad neck, we've had a bit of a later start. So I feel like I'm not in the groove of everything.
Yeah, I know. Have we showed the table?
I don't know.
I'll show you. So I had to fit this big block for the table support to go on, because basically this handle on the table support was going to be hit in the back all the time when we were turning it this way. So that's why it looks a little bit like it shouldn't be there, but it was the only way we could get the table to actually go here and use it over here and over here. And also something we realised, is when you loosen it off, which is something we didn't plan for. It's just one of them things that have lined up. It's a bit noisy. Is when you bring it right up, we'll actually be able to use it in bed to put the laptop and stuff on, which is just like, if that works out when we've got the tabletop on here and the mattress in, like that's a game changer.
That is the ultimate movie setup.
It is. So you've got like usable space in your living area. We'll have a desk to sit on, and you can sit in bed with a desk, which is just mad.
So good.
Half of this stuff that was like worked out for us has been like a little bit planned, and then stuff's just like falling into place, hasn't it?
Yeah, mainly fluke.
It's the only benefit you have from living in a small van, and you just like dream about stuff that actually
Yeah.
you can have in a bigger space.
So as you can tell, this morning we're pretty pumped for all the things that are starting to fall into place, but we've still got a big list of jobs that we need to get done. So I think we're going to work out what we're going to do today.
I want to get stuff out of the garage because we've got a lot of like painted bits ready to be put in now. So to clear up some room for us to actually work, I think I'm just going to fit some like drawer fronts for the, well no, cupboard fronts.
Yeah, cool. Let's do that first and then go from there.
I've made some progress with the handles, as you can see. I can't put that one down because Martha's touched up a bit of paint, but I think they look okay.
Looks so good.
These are proper cheap handles as well off, was it eBay or Amazon? Amazon want it. They were like £10 for 20 handles, which is dead good. But that's dead smart. I've just fitted one on the toilet. Well, the toilet cupboard, bench, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Water storage. But we're upgrading our toilet. How exciting. So all we're basically doing is in this one, you get not that much waste storage down the bottom. You get the same amount of like flushing fluid, which I don't understand why you get more flushing fluid than you do waste, because it's just, it never works round that way. So all we've done is gone through the one with the bigger waste on the bottom, because we were finding that we were always, every time that we needed to go to like get wastewater and other stuff like that, it was always the toilet that was making that happen. So even though that toilet's still completely usable, we've upgraded anyway, but it's a lot cheaper than the composting toilet we were thinking about going for. So if my calculations were correct, then this should fit perfectly in here, which it looks like it's completely fine.
Wow, it does look so much bigger. It looks like an actual toilet now.
Yeah, I know, because also with the extra height as well.
It'd be nicer
like,
to sit on.
Yeah, I know. Oh, on that other one, your knees were well up, whereas on this one, that's like a proper toilet, isn't it? Reading the newspaper. That's class, isn't it?
Yeah.
I didn't know whether this design was going to work. All I've basically done, as you can see, is hinge this bottom one, hinge the top one. It's a little bit janky, but it works. Like, it's not a pull-out drawer or anything, but we didn't want a pull-out drawer here because, what was the reason for that? More so like, yeah, space and weight and stuff like that. It just makes more sense. So yeah, now you got a bench and a toilet at the same time. Oh, I can't look up. I'm giving all my life. You could even work on your laptop on the toilet with a table.
No, because you will spend all day on that toilet.
What a great idea. So now when we're working, editing all day, we can just sit on the toilet and then we don't have to move at all.
That is terrible. But well done. You've done a good job there. Oh my god.
We've got the kitchen going in today and I'm very, very excited about it. I feel like a kid at Christmas today because I'm really hoping that today is the day that we'll get the kitchen in. But we have just already come across one hurdle and it's been about 2 minutes of trying to do it.
You mean the kitchen carcass? The whole kitchen's not going in.
Yeah, but it's a big piece. But yeah, we've had a bit of a a little bit of a setback that we're going to just sort first before we actually put the carcass in.
We knew it was coming though.
Yeah.
We knew that when the kitchen carcass was going in that we needed to sort out this messy area, because the reason a lot of people make the kitchen overhang and come down into your step, but the reason I didn't want to do that is because I kept reading that the rollers on these sliding doors, because they're so big and so heavy, they're prone to failing quite often, and to replace them you have to take your plastic step out, and if we hang that into there, then every time that happens you have to literally take your kitchen apart to get your step out and replace that, and I just really don't want to be dealing with that. So we've sacrificed like that much kitchen worktop for the ease of that.
So the plan right now is to make a little piece of wood that's going to fit there and go straight down to the floor, but it'll only mean that if we do need to get that floor up, we just need to take the 2 little pocket holes out from inside the kitchen cabinet to just slide that piece out. So hopefully Mitch whips that up so then we can start, because I've got the tiles, we've got everything ready, and it will really start to come together. That's why I just want to get it in. And also we'll free a lot of space inside the garage, which is even better.
That's only with it fastened to the bulkhead. That's good, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So with them in the floor, like, that's going to be solid as a rock.
Is there anything pulling?
Not yet. It's quite a long run though, so it might take a minute.
We've got a bit sidetracked and we're trying to get the Truma to work because Mitch has done some stuff and fitted the electrical, so we're trying to get the Truma to turn on. We're just waiting to see if we can hear the diesel pump kicked in. Truma do not make this easy for anyone trying to DIY it, let me just tell you. And yeah, Mitch is trying to see now if it's going to pump diesel through, so we're just waiting. It's making a lot of noises, I don't really know what's going on. Anything?
No. Oh!
Is something coming?
Yeah. I'm buzzing about that. I was dead worried that I'd done the diesel line wrong. Look.
Can you see that? Oh my god.
How slowly that pulls. It's going to take forever to get to the heater. God, I'm glad that I put it in the cab now.
Yeah.
Aren't you? Because of that knocking would be so annoying.
Yeah.
You'll still probably hear it, but nowhere near as bad. Imagine if you like put it under the bed or something. Drive you insane, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I did not expect it to be like that.
I can't believe how long that takes to pull through.
Oh.
We might have given up because it's took so long. At least it's working though. I was getting stressed when we were getting that warm. Oh, did we show that on the camera? Oh, it is getting hot now. Yeah, basically, I was trying to set up the heater and just like get it to start going. And when you've got the installation instructions by Truma, bearing in mind you're paying like nearly £2,000 for these units, the instructions say to be installed by a professional engineer. That's all it says for like starting it up, which is just a bit of a joke,
just no
really.
information.
So they're just completely gatekeeping people trying to install their own stuff.
So yeah, that's very poor on Truma's behalf. But we've done it. And what was the solution to it?
To turn it all the way up to 30 degrees to get it to initialise the startup.
Right. Which is something so simple that was left out. Just saying, when it's all on, turn it to 30 degrees. Well, we've got heating. Now today is going to be the day that things are going to happen in the kitchen. And first things first, we're going to start off with the tiles. And I'm so excited to show them to you. This is what we've gone with. It's pretty out there, I feel like. It's not your usual kitchen tile, and as you can tell, it is just a stick-on laminate piece of fake looking tiles. But hopefully, by the end of today, this is going to look very different. Oh, you've got the worktop. You doing that first?
No, I just wanted to get it out so we'll look at it.
We've gone and cut the worktop, and it's been a stressful few hours. It has taken us a few hours, in fact, as well. It doesn't feel like it, but it has.
I'm worn out. The main reason it's been stressful is because, once again, the van bends.
Yeah.
And it's not straight.
Nothing straight.
So, like, you can't have a square worktop in a bendy van and it not create massive gaps everywhere. So you have to lose your gaps somewhere. So we were just trying to choose them places to be like the least noticeable. Yeah. And it's been bloody game trying to work it all out. But
it does look really good. And now we're just sat here debating about the tiles. So we are actually finally going to get onto the tiles. Have you read the instructions?
That'll be alright.
This is all very too quick for me.
Oh shit.
I'm so stressed.
I might have to nip a B&Q for that piece. Ooh. I think we're going to go for cutting the sinkhole first, because it's got a nice template, so that's the least scary. The only thing that I'm scared about is how strong this is going to be, because all we're leaving is 40mm of material on the front edge because of how shallow the cupboards are, and it's kind of scaring me if this is going to be structurally strong or not. I mean, once it's in it'll be strong, it's just like carrying it and I'm scared of snapping it. Oh, what a day.
I can't believe it.
I'm so glad this is done.
It looks amazing. I can't believe we've been able to pull it off. We've got a kitchen.
Well, yeah, sort of. Still got quite a bit to do in terms of cupboards, drainage, gas.
Oh, you're such an egg Nancy.
No, I'm a realist, Martha.
It's been another really big day. Cannot believe the time. We thought we'd get more done. Oh, I need to hoover that. I thought we'd get more done, but we should be proud of what we have got done, because it's a lot.
This morning when this was I was getting ready to cut all this, I didn't think it was going to go right today. I had one of them feelings.
Yeah. But here we are. Only slight hiccup was the tap.
Oh yeah, have you showed it?
So here the tap is now having to sit this way because of that, and due to how much space we're working with and the depth, this, which would usually go on the side, was not being able to get the full range of motion. So we've moved it to the front. However, I'm not mad about it. I think it looks pretty good, but whatever, I think these things happen. So yeah, we're gonna call it a day. I'm very happy. It's been another good one, and hopefully we'll keep the streak for this week, and we'll be back tomorrow.
And tomorrow for us will be next week for you guys. A lot has changed in this video, and as you can see, the build is starting to come to a close. Next time we will be wrapping it all up, making the finishing touches and preparing to hit the road on our next adventure. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.